Caleb has really emphasized this week not being complacent, not being satisfied with the recent run of results. So how much has he harped on that with the players about not getting complacent and making sure you're still improving game after game?
Yeah, I agree. We won last 3 games and had 3 clean sheets, but we are still not where we want to be. We are still at, if I'm not wrong, 10th place. So we are not in the playoff zone, or higher in the table. So, and that's where we want to be. And to achieve that, we need to win the next one and the next one, and that's the mentality we have to have.
Caleb?
And now, Ali, you've now had 2 Team of the Week appearances in the first 9 games. One, how does it feel to be recognized in the league to start the season, and how does that attest to the rest of the defensive group helping you get this honor?
It feels good. That's why I'm here, to help the team. But I think the clean sheets and all the good performances are because of the guys in front of me. It's not that much about the goalkeeper. Maybe some games, but I think most of the games it's team defending, and I think my teammates did a great job. So I wasn't as busy. Maybe 1 game in Atlanta, but other 2 not too busy. So they're doing a great job and they're helping me to achieve that.
And now facing Toronto this week, they have some very talented players. What do you expect overall, and what is needed from the group to achieve the 3 points overall on the road?
Yeah, it's in this league there's no easy games, and we play on the road. So it's gonna be a tough game. They have some great individuals like Bernadeschi or Insigne. They can change the game in 1 moment if you're not careful. But as I said, in this league it's a little different. Every game is tough. The table is not really showing who's good or who's not good. Every team is good and any team can beat you. So we need to be 100% ready to play that game.
We'll go to Sam on Zoom. Sam?
And Ali, Caleb kind of just talked about, the Reds 2 players who get to train with their team, the value there. I guess, as a goalkeeper with, the goalkeeping talent that Reds 2 has, just overall, what's it like working with them, and just how valuable can it be for a young goalkeeper to get to work with goalkeepers like yourself and your coach, Kevin Hitchcock?
I hope it's valuable to train with us. We are trying to help them, of course, with advices, and most important, to be an example, so they can learn from us. So I hope we've been helpful, so they can learn a lot from us.
Okay, we'll go to Seth. Seth, you're unmuted now.
The coach talked about how the leadership of guys like you and Matt Polster and Carlos Gil have been a big part of the turnaround. As a leader of the team, what are some things that you and Polster and these guys, what are you guys doing to make sure the culture is good within the organization?
I think first is being an example. Anyone can talk, but not many people can act. So you need to be first the best on the field. The attitude has to be right every day in training. Show up first, late, last one. You have to lead by example first, and then just talking wise. You need to make sure everyone is dedicated every day, and sometimes when they're tired, you push them. So that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, and one more from Jeff.
And Ali, you mentioned leading by example. These last few defensive performances, you see Tanner throwing his body in front of shots, Brian getting physical, Mamadou being physical as well. Like, how contagious can that be throughout the group when one guy sees someone else sort of putting their body on the line?
Yeah, it's very contagious. It's at the end of the day, it's a team sport. So we need each other. I can't perform without them, or vice versa. So they make it easier for me, and I hope I make it easier for them. It's the confidence in the group and the hard work, and we recognize it, and we work good together.
Thank you, Ali.
Thanks, Ali.
Thank you.
Caleb, I know you talked a little bit on Tuesday about this Toronto team and how deceptive standings can be, particularly in MLS. It's a team that's conceded 2 goals in their last 5 games. So what kind of challenge are you preparing the guys for up at BMO Field?
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. Sometimes we play a team that is really desperate to win. That's the toughest opponent to play. They're going to want to get their first win at home. So, we feel like obviously when we played Charlotte, they were a team that maybe was going to be a little complacent. With this team, you're not going to get that with Toronto. They are fighting for their lives, and so are we, frankly. We're in 10th, and I told the guys today we've got to keep moving up. So to do that, we need to be focused and hungry. If we're focused and hungry, then we'll have a chance to win the game. If we're not, then we got no chance to win this game.
And Carlos and Aliaj have both made the team of the match day twice in the past 3 games. Do you find that that's indicative of that balance that you've talked about all season between, the offense and the defense?
Yeah, I don't care about that stuff, honestly. I think those are the type of things, that we should not be. I mean, people are gonna obviously pile on when you do well, accolades and accomplishments, but those are the things that actually will make you complacent and get you thinking that you're good and you've arrived and we've got this great team and great players and we're just going to stroll out on the pitch and get 3 points, and that's not the mindset we want. So obviously we're going to let people talk, in this case, positive about us. Earlier it was all negative about us, and now it's all positive. But just like it didn't affect us when people were negative about us, it's not going to affect us that people are positive about us. Nothing externally is going to take away from the mindset that we have to, hopefully perform well, fight hard, grind, because that's what we'll need to do to have a chance to win this game.
Now, Coach, you touched on that a moment ago, talking about the negatives kind of to start the year, and then the back end, 4 of the last 5 with wins. Currently tied the club record for fewest goals allowed in 9 games. Could break that record this week. What do you think's changed within the group to kind of have the better mend in this past couple of weeks?
Well, I think we've defended well all year. I don't think much has changed there. I think when you look at the entire year and really you look at every game, there's not been a game we haven't defended well. So I think nothing's really changed there. I think the difference is, we've found that first goal, and that's really the only difference. I still think we need to find more goals. We need to create more chances. There's still a lot of things areas we can improve in. But we need to be hungry going into this game. And, we're not thinking about, breaking meaningless records. We're thinking about winning the next game and moving up the table because we're not even in a playoff position right now. So it's really important, that we, keep the edge and keep improving, really. That's the best way to stay motivated is when you look at all the areas that we need to improve in to be the team that we want to be. We don't want to be a 10th place team. So why would we be happy with that and satisfied with that and feeling great about that?
Okay, we'll go to Zoom. Seth, you're unmuted now. Seth?
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. I know on Tuesday you mentioned the leadership of guys like Matt Polster and Aliaj Ivicic. Can you talk a little bit about what those guys have brought on and off the field this year?
Yeah, I think in any good team, good teams I've had, they're led from within. Of course, I'm always going to, as the head coach, do my best to influence the team, to serve the players, to organize them in the right way, to help them, tactically and psychologically. But really, it's the best teams are internally driven. They have guys in the locker room that, are an extension of me, guys that care as much about the culture as I do, or more so. And we have that with those 3 players in particular, and others too. They just might do it in different ways. But for me, Matt and Aliaj and Carlos, those 3 guys are great leaders in their own ways, and they've been a big part of this turning, this thing turning around because they've taken control. And when your team takes control and takes ownership, then you start playing in a much better way. It's not good teams aren't because the coach is controlling it. It's because the players are controlling it and taking ownership every day.
Sam, you're unmuted now. Sam?
Hello, Caleb. Hope you're doing well. I just kind of wanted to ask, we've kind of seen, Revs 2 players get the chance to train. I know, there was a few Revs 2 players I trained today. Can you just kind of talk about the value for a young player to be able to train with the first team, train with guys like Carlos Gil, and just how it can help in their development?
Yeah, we have a vertically integrated club. It's important that we have a very good connection with Revs 2, that Revs 2 has a very good connection with the academy, and that it's not just a flow chart on a piece of paper, but we actually follow it, and we have a connection, and we kind of rub elbows, if you will, with the second team at times and create a synergy there. We did a little bit of a scrimmage yesterday with them, and it's great because you can kind of see where their top guys are at in comparison to some of our guys that have been coming off the bench. And that, kind of lets us know where those Revs 2 guys really at, because it can be deceiving. It's a very different level. The Revs 2 games, that level is nowhere near MLS level. So when guys go and do well there, it doesn't mean a whole lot, to be honest with you. But if they are dominating at that level, then they've got a shot. So I know a lot of times fans will see guys score goals at the USL level and score goals with Revs 2. It doesn't mean a lot. What it means is those guys are doing well there, and maybe they have a shot to jump up. So for us, it's really important to measure really where they're at with training, and eventually, giving guys a shot. In Open Cup games, obviously we have a game coming up, and we'll give a few of these guys a bit of a run because we're planning to rotate and play more of a younger group in that tournament.
We can close with Nicole.
Speaking of that, I know you're focused on this weekend, but looking ahead to the match with Rhode Island FC next week, what do you expect from that and just the atmosphere playing that team that's pretty new to Rhode Island?
Yeah, good segue, right? I think, again, we're really focused on Toronto, but we understand what's around the corner. Yeah, and you have to prepare what's around the corner. We have a game 3 days later after that. And so we've been preparing this week for Toronto, but also we've been, kind of quietly preparing for next week as well. And we have an idea of what we're going to do and who's going to play, and that's going to come pretty fast, and it's going to be an important game. It's a cup game, and Rhode Island's going to be motivated, and all those guys want our guys' jobs. They want to be in MLS, and they want to do well, and so those games are really tricky. So we'll use it as an opportunity to develop guys. We'll use it as an opportunity to keep guys that haven't been playing, keeping them sharp, and I'm confident that it'll be a very good game.
Kind of a fun rivalry, just a quick trip down 95.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's a domestic cup, right? And so it's always fun to kind of play different teams. We know all the MLS teams. It's good to play different teams, and they're right down the street, and it should be a good crowd. I hear it's a great stadium. I've not been there yet, but we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a nice day.